fellow cinema enthusiasts, my name is Christina and welcome to another Let's Get Reelz movie review. Today's movie I will be reviewing for you is Murder on the Orient Express, the new one from this year, 2017, and also thrown in there a little bit the 1974 version directed by Sidney Lumet. So, Murder on the Orient Express, if you're not familiar with this movie, it is about this bad guy, Ratchet, who is murdered on a train, the Orient Express. The train gets caught in a winter storm, and there is a famous detective on board the train, Hercule Poirot, and he is tasked with finding out who murdered this bad guy, Ratchet. And there's 12 suspects. There's 12 other people on this train. Poirot has to find out, who had the motive, why would somebody want to kill him, who Ratchet really is. And it's one of the greatest mystery stories of all time. It was a book written by Agatha Christie in the 30s. So very, very interesting story, really good, very well played out story in both movies as well as the book, obviously. So I have always known the 1974 version. I've known it and had it and owned it and watched it over and over again for many years, mostly because Ingrid Bergman is in the 1974 version. Both versions have this great all-star cast. In the 74 version, you have Lauren Bacall, you have Ingrid Bergman, you have Jacqueline Bisset, you had Albert Finney, and Anthony Perkins, and Sean Connery, and Vanessa Redgrave, and you had the guy who plays Basil Expedition from Austin Powers. I can't think of his name. I can never think of his name. And just a whole bunch of other people. And it was so, so good. I always loved the way that played out. I lean more towards the original. But the new one from 2017 has, again, an all-star cast. You have Kenneth Branagh, who was also the director. He played Poirot. Then you have Daisy Ridley. You have Leslie Odom Jr. and Penelope Cruz and Willem Dafoe. And as Ratchet, you have Johnny Depp. So there's a whole bunch of other people. Michelle Pfeiffer was actually in this movie too, and she plays Lauren Bacall's part in the movie, Mrs. Hubbard. And I knew right away who Michelle Pfeiffer was supposed to be because she played it almost exactly like Lauren Bacall at the beginning. And I love Lauren Bacall in the original. Her character's kind of a pain in the ass. Mrs. Hubbard is she's always talking. She's like, well, my second husband would never stand for this, and my first husband, my second husband, and all this stuff, and I've enjoyed more relations with a man. And so Michelle Pfeiffer, as soon as she came on screen and she opened her mouth and she started saying, certain things from the original, I was like, oh, she's Mrs. Hubbard, and she was perfect. Daisy Ridley was adorable. I absolutely love her. I'm so happy that she was in something else besides Star Wars, because the girl's got talent. She's really, really talented, and she really showed it here in this movie. Now, the 2017 version is not bad. It is different. Both movies are very, very different from each other. The 2017 version is a little bit more dramatic, there's a little bit more added, and it actually takes us off of the train for a while instead of solely being in the train for the whole hour and a half or so this movie runs. So when the train stopped, in the new one, there was an avalanche and it hit the front car and they had to stop. It was a bad snowstorm. So instead of just being in the train the whole time, they actually had Poirot take a couple of the people outside to question them, and there was a chase scene in one part, and when the reveal comes, he has everyone sit out on a table in this tunnel, and he tells them who did it and what their motives were. So I thought that was really cool. I thought that was a nice take, and to actually just take us off the train for a little while and not give us that claustrophobic feeling. And also there was one part where Leslie Odom Jr.'s character comes in and talks to Poirot, who had been talking to Daisy Ridley's character, because Daisy Ridley's character and Leslie Odom Jr.'s character had a thing for each other in this movie as well as in the book. So that was good. They like moved us around and everything. They didn't stay in one place. Here is where I'm gonna do a little compare and contrast with the two. As much as I don't want to do it, I have to because it's just in my head, the comparing and contrasting of the two movies. So Sidney Lumet is a fantastic director. He directed so many great movies. Murder on the Orient Express was just great. I love his direction. I love all he did with this movie. And I really like the script of Murder on the Orient Express for the 1974 one, and you know, his direction was really good. He was right there with the characters. He really grabbed our attention. He really made us feel the tension and the mystery. In the 2017 version, I was not too crazy about Kenneth Branagh's direction. There were some parts where I was just like, why are you doing this? Like, there was one scene where there were two characters in one of the compartments, and instead of filming them like head on like this, you know, like right in front of them, he shot them from above. And I wasn't crazy about that because I don't feel like, I just kind of felt like disconnected from the scene and from the characters because you can only see like the tops of their heads. You weren't seeing, you know, like emotion. You weren't there with them. You were kind of like spying on them and looking in, and I didn't like that. I wasn't crazy about that. And there was a couple of other scenes where I was like, just, it was too much. And I think the 2017 version is very overdramatic in a lot of parts, and there were a lot of things that were added that were not either in the original movie or in the book, and I've read the book like 2 or 3 times already. So I wasn't crazy about some of the things they added. I'm not gonna give them away. You know, it kind of took away from the main idea of the story, I think. And some of the extra scenes, although I said I liked how they took some of the questioning and the suspects outside of the train in the snow, I felt distracted. I felt like they kind of took away from what our main focus was, and it was on trying to solve this mystery, figure out who the killer was. And I don't know, there was something about Branagh's direction that I really wasn't crazy about, like, you know, with how he took away our attention, and just some of the story aspects, like how it began was kind of interesting, but I think just like certain things, it just took away from the main focal point of the story. I know I'm repeating myself over and over again. I hope that makes sense in any way. So that was my kind of review of both Murder on the Orient Express, one from 1974, one from 2017, this year. If you like this review in any way, if I did a decent job with them, if you'd like to go more in depth with either of the Murder on the Orient Express movies, just let me know, because I'll probably wind up making a more in-depth review of the 1974 version, because as I said, I love that version so much. So if you like this review in any way, please give this a thumbs up, leave your comments down below if you like this review at all, and if you'd like to see me review the original Murder on the Orient Express, down there as well. And if you have any suggestions of what I should watch next, be them old movies, new movies, whatever you got, leave them down in the comments, and if I pick your movie and I watch it and I review it, I'll give you a shout out. And don't forget to hit that subscribe button for future Let's Get Reelz movie reviews, because that is what I like to do here. And as always, keep watching movies and stay absolutely fabulous.